Cool, and we're rolling. What's going on? What's going on, kings and queens of the investment world? How are you guys doing? And girls, what's up? What's going on? My name is Ugo Opera. I am a PA licensed real estate agent and Philadelphia-based real estate investor. Reporting live with another video, and I'm so sorry. I am trying my best to do more videos and to be more consistent with this process. But man, life is getting in the way. Life is getting in the way. It's a blessing. We're doing a lot of business on the real estate side, investment side as well. So I'm being pulled in those directions, trying to maintain. Anyways, if these are all just excuses I'm giving y'all, I'm going to try and do better at this. I definitely want to try to do at least one video a week, 52 videos in a year. And I've failed miserably this year alone. So I'm going to try to just not worry about the past, pick up with where we are at now, and then just keep flinging it. So one of the things I want to start doing more is answering questions that you guys ask me. So this one is actually brought to you by the lovely Miss AJ Reeves. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. And her question last week was, good afternoon. I appreciate you posting videos on how to get started in real estate investing. I'm looking to do the same. I wanted to know, do you find it to be beneficial to be a real estate agent as well as an investor? That one was a good question. And the question is, hell yeah, let me count the ways, people. Let me count all of the ways, because I personally didn't get into real estate to become an investor. I mean, to become a real estate agent. I was an investor, and then my mentor at the time just kind of dragged me into getting my license. And then I got my license, and then my mentor kind of fell back. So I'm like, all right, well, I have this license. Let me just figure it out. What can we do? How can we make money off these things? And that has led me on a path where, looking back now, that was by far one of the single most beneficial and important things that I had done in my real estate career. And that has opened up multiple opportunities. That's allowed me to do ridiculous things. And it's really allowed me to build my portfolio in ways that I don't know how I would have done it any other way. So let us start. Give me 1 second, actually. Cool, and we're back. So anyways, number one thing that I think is beneficial in being a realtor, and I'm not saying you can't get this anywhere else. You can get this anywhere else, but network, dude. I feel like realtors that, they do what they got to do. Even if you're like not, even if you're just a part-time realtor, the network is just ridiculous, man. And all I can say to sum it up is, number one is realtors love their gosh darn realtors, dude. I just cannot say that. It's almost like a fraternity or something like that. Or like a different ecosystem. If I'm a real estate agent and I put an offer to buy a property that's listed by another real estate agent, and they see that I'm a real estate agent, it's just a different environment. I mean, it's just completely different. The interaction is different. It's like, what's up? You trying to buy this house? I'm trying to sell this house, baby. What's going on? It's just so different. You know what I mean? And I've never gotten anything like that. So that's number one. It's a benefit. And y'all probably don't even know because y'all not realtors. But when I buy a house from a realtor, it's just love, man. Yesterday I just settled on picked up another 3 unit, you know what I mean? So yesterday, I was fresh out of settlement from yesterday, and I'm a realtor, bought the property from another realtor, and listen, that girl is my homie now. You know what I mean? We like this. We not like this. We like this, wrap that. It's just crazy. The love is crazy when you're buying from another realtor. At least it should be. And in my experience, it's been just fantastic, right? When I put an offer in and they see like, oh, who's your buyer? I'm the buyer. Oh, okay, great. Now it's really no negotiations. It's like, yo, listen, this is what we got to do to make it work. Can you do it or not? Oh yeah, listen, I could do that, but here's what I would need to make it work. And then it's really becomes more of a conversation. So the realtors love realtors type thing. There's a typo. I forgot to put an S. Please don't kill me, internet. Just Keep it moving. But yeah, realtors love realtors. It's definitely the fraternity type love. It's a whole different type of ecosystem. And when there's a transaction where a realtor is buying from another realtor, I think it's just all love, and that you get flexibility in the price, flexibility in the assist. I mean, it's a different story, and I think it comes from the confidence that people know, like, all right, this is another realtor, it's another real estate professional. Transaction is going to be a lot smoother, and that's definitely that. Number two, constantly involved in the industry. And I think one of the reasons for that is because you get pitched by so many different things, and realtors have so many different like alignment. So Inman News, keeping it current. Trend has like a plethora, a multitude of just like different uh, data points. What's going on here? What's this municipality doing? What new laws are coming on? Um, realtors have their own set of lobbyists, people that actually lobby for better laws to help keep realtors profitable, to help keep housing affordable, to, everything in that regards. And they're always giving out information as to what's going on, new taxes, new thing. I mean, it's just unbelievable how if you allow yourself to be, how entrenched that a realtor is in the field of what's going on with real estate. Sometimes I'm in my inbox reading stuff till like 4 a.m. in the morning. I can't sleep. This stuff is fascinating. Wow, this municipality is lobbying against the construction of a new hotel because of X, Y, and Z. Or like, it's just like, it's fascinating, and you start to take information and you build it in, and before you know it, you have a client that asks a question, and you're like, oh yeah, well, here's what's going on with that, and you're like, whoa, when the hell did I read about that? You're just so entrenched in what's going on. You know what I mean? Something as simple as like transfer rates going up. I knew that it was coming up before like it happened in the city of Philadelphia. You know what I mean? I know about new grant programs that the city of Philadelphia is planning. I know about developments that are going on before they go on. Like, I just know about so many different things. And it's just because it's just part of being a realtor. You know what I mean? If you allow it, now there are realtors that just block all this stuff out, but I'm not one of them. I'm very active, and I'm in this, and I let that information come to me. Um, Another thing is that I never realized, is you have much stronger bonds with your vendors. And a vendor would be anyone else that's related to what you're doing. So title person, insurance person, real estate attorney, uh, your mortgage person, your office manager, whatever, supply companies that you buy from, sign companies. These people become just part of your extended family, because if you're an investor or something like that, or a new investor, you might do one transaction a year, two transactions a year. So you might love your insurance person, but you're only going to send them two deals a year. You know what I mean? I'm out here sending some people two, three, four, five deals in a month. You know what I mean? Times 12. You know what I mean? So I get to see these people hear about me constantly. And that I got an open tab with these people, and we're just constantly working on stuff. And my insurance person last month, I think I sent them 6 transactions. 6. And we got another 2 for this year. So far I've done like maybe 24 transactions with them, just feeding them business. So when you're constantly in someone's ear like this, you're constantly giving them business, you're constantly helping them make money. Hey, baby, it's all love. There's no way. All I have to do is say, hey, listen, I'm on the hunt for this type of building in these zip codes. If you find a buyer, if you find a seller, bring them my way. And that line is tight. They start looking for it because you feed these people. If every time I send my insurance person a lead and they make, let's say, $600, $700, and I send them 30 deals in a year, I'm an important person to this. I'm important in this person's life. You know what I mean? So if there's a way for them to return a favor, they're going to want to return a favor because they're going to want to keep that relationship. You know what I mean? Last year as a realtor, I did 30 transactions. This year, I think we're already at 20, 24. Out here feeding people. So, and that goes for electricians, plumbers, roofers. I mean, the list is just expansive. And when you have that type of army and they all know what you're looking for. You know what I mean? You got to work the network, right? But when you all know what you're looking for, you just kind of sit back and wait for these the referrals to come through, and it does come through. And I have settled on referrals from insurance agent or an accountant or something like that. And that's because I do way more business. I'm constantly in contact with them than if I was just an investor. I'd have to be a very, very active investor to really keep their attention versus an agent that's active where, in selling, even if you sold 15 houses a year, that's at least you're at least in front of them at least once a month, and sometimes twice. So I think that's something that people don't pay attention to is that the bond you build with your vendors is stronger simply because the frequency of being a real estate agent is a lot higher than the frequency of an investor. Even if you're buying 2-3 properties a year, a realtor can sell 3-4 houses a year, getting in touch base with someone that much more frequently. So that's why I think the network is just a lot stronger because it's just more things going through the pipeline. Next one, commission advantage, which I take full advantage of. Number one, clearly as a real estate agent, like my last transaction, when I'm buying property from another realtor, I'm going to make some money on it. There's a commission on that. Now, some companies, mainly if it's a bank owned, they don't allow the realtor, if the realtor is buying it for themselves, they don't let that realtor make a commission, right? So it's not that this is a 100% thing, but on average, I'm going to make something back. Now, mind you, it's not nothing fantastic. A lot of the houses I'm buying, 20,000. Let me take that back. I lied. A lot of the properties I'm buying are 30, 40, 50, all the way up to $80,000, right? 3% on $80,000 ain't really much. You know what I mean? It ain't a lot, right? So on an $80,000 house, I might walk away with maybe $2,000, right? Or $2,000 would be the profit that I would stand and make. Put that towards a transaction. Now I am able to pay less than what it will cost someone else to buy the same property. You know what I mean? So, and that's one portion of it. Now, when I go to flip the property, so I saved $2,000 going in, right, buying it. Now, when I go to flip the property, let's say I bought the $80,000 property, I put maybe $40,000 in renovations on it. I'm all in at $120, and now I'm trying to resell it. Maybe I put $50,000 into it, and now I'm trying to resell it for maybe $180, right? When I go to sell it for $180, if you're not a realtor, you got to find another realtor. You have to pay a commission. Typically, that commission is anywhere from 5 to 6, actually 5 to 7%. Mine is never going to be more than 2.5. Like it's never higher than 2.5. So when you compare 2.5 as part of your cost versus 5 to 7%, I win just off the strength that I have my license. I can list it myself. I don't need someone else to list it for me, and I'm good to go. But keep in mind that I also take the headaches of listing the property and managing it and getting it to settlement versus where you just pass it along to a realtor. And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I wish that I had that convenience, right? But bank account says we ain't got it like that, so I got to do what I got to do. But that is definitely an advantage. Going in, I'm saving money. Selling it, I'm saving money. Dude, what am I talking about? Save money cellaring? What are we doing today? All right, it's early. I gotta make these changes because they're starting to annoy me. Let's go back. Apologize. Make money buying, save money selling. I can list the property myself. Cool. And then number 3 is I get to barter with the seller, right? So if I'm trying to buy a property, let's say, and this is a true story, right? So I meet an investor. He's older. Mom just passed away, and his health is not in the best condition as well. So meeting with this investor, he has multiple properties to sell, right? The one that I don't want all his properties. I just want one. There's only one because I buy in a specific area. He's only got one property in his zip code, and we're haggling on a price. He's not coming down. I'm not going up because it ain't worth me going up. I get the deal because I said, yo, look, give me this property at the price where I can get it at. If you're going to sell these and I can list these other properties and give you a discount on each one of those, right? And you can rock out. Signed the deal and I took it from there. So I got the property at almost $15,000 less than what he wanted, right? And then in listing the properties, I made $15,000 just by listing his properties, right? So the money I made from listing his properties and selling them, was part of the commission money that I used to do. That was almost half the commission money I used to finish the renovations and rent it out. Perfect. Perfect transaction for me. Love the deals like that. But that's not a deal that you can do if you're not a realtor. So that was one where it worked out. Another situation where I'm looking for an investor, or I was looking for a property. I ran into, someone that had a house to sell, and they didn't have anything else. So there wasn't anything else that I can list and give a discount to. Well, they had a daughter that was buying a house. I said, listen, you got a daughter that's buying a house or that's looking to buy a house. I'm a realtor. I do really well with first time home buyers. You get me this house at a number that makes sense to me. I'll get your daughter, a kickback on my commission, and we'll make sure that I'll get her in contact with the best program so she's not going to pay what y'all think she's going to pay in buying her house. And of course, introduced the daughter to NACA. Shout out to NACA, best program in the world. She didn't have to pay closing costs. She didn't have to pay a down payment. Didn't have to pay for PMI, right? Fantastic program. It took a while, right? But that's what NACA takes forever. But we got her into a house, and I got another property, right? So being able to barter with the seller, and I'm not saying that that's exclusive. I'm not saying that that feature is exclusive to being a real estate agent, but I feel like I can offer everything and you as an investor can, and everything as a realtor can, right? So that's why I put it there as bartering. Third and final column, it's a good look. It's a very good look to be a real estate agent. You know what I mean? And especially if you're a realtor, it's just more trust. You know what I mean? If you come across and you present yourself as a real estate professional, a licensed real estate professional, you're licensed and everything. You have a company that's behind you. Keller Williams, Tesla, United Real Estate, HomeSmart, EXP. I mean, you have a company that people have probably seen around before or for sale signs before. It's a very good look versus an investor, a mom and pop investor, where it's probably the first time that they're seeing or hearing of you. You know what I mean? I've walked into I go to meet someone and they're like, oh, what's going on? I've seen your just sold flyers, or I've seen your just listed flyers, or I saw your ad on Facebook on the house that you just sold, or I watched your client testimonial on YouTube. Like, people already kind of can see that you're in the area, you're in the industry, and you're doing what you got to do if you market yourself correctly. So every time I sell a house, postcards go out, videos go out, Instagram gets hit, YouTube gets hit, Facebook gets hit, you know what I mean? And people just kind of see these things. So now when I come out to go look at their house as an investor, there's already that respect, that trust, that like, man, this is someone that's coming to do it. Not to say you can't build that same thing as an investor, but I am you, and then there's that added level of cushion, right? It's like, of course it makes sense for this real estate professional to also invest in real estate because he's a realtor versus you're just an investor. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more encompassing. When I come to the table, I present a full package versus just you, where you can only buy the house or not buy the house. You know what I mean? And I can also come and buy the house, right? So I have that one up on you. Again, more options, right? You can't help the seller list the property. I mean, you could, but you're not licensed to. You shouldn't, right? So as a realtor, I'm licensed to list the property. I can manage the property. I can get the property rented. You know what I mean? So many things that we can do. If they can't buy it at the price that I can, then hey, look, that's perfectly fine. This route won't work for us. But if you still want to get the house sold, you know what I mean? If you're willing to put some work into this, here's what I can do. I think this property is worth this much. If we can get it to where it's got, you'll make a lot more than taking the offer that I can give you. It might take a little bit longer, but it's an option that's there for you on the table. I present everyone that I go to with the two options. I can buy it at this price. It will be a lot lower than what you can get as a realtor, than what you can get as if you list the property. But I'll buy it cash, and you don't have to worry about any repairs. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. Or we put it up on the market, a little bit more friction on the transaction, but you end up with a higher dollar amount. You know what I mean? You end up with a retail buyer or a retail investor, and you're going to make out more than me buying it right away cash. You have the option, so I can bring that to them. And then again, I have a registered license with the state of Pennsylvania. You can go and look me up. You can see if I've had for realtors, you can see if I've been penalized, any violations, if there's any any negative judgments against me as a licensed realtor. It'll show if you've had any violations, any issues, anything, right? So when you go and you search someone's name and they've had no violations, they're a licensed real estate professional, your confidence level goes from to like, all right, we good. Let's go meet up with this person. He looks legit. Da, 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 da. So these are just some of the reasons why I think it's very advantageous to be a real estate agent. Very, very advantageous to be a real estate agent. And of course, I want to preface by saying that I'm biased. Of course, I'm obviously biased. I can't not be biased. You know what I mean? Because it's just what I do. I'm a full-time real estate agent and I'm an investor, right? The money that I'm investing, a lot, it's coming from being an agent. You know what I mean? I might make 10, 20 grand in a month. I don't even need, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with that money, but real estate allows me to funnel that money, invest it, and build my portfolio and save for retirement for when I get married and I have my wife and I have my kids. But my full-time job is a real estate agent, so it's very difficult for me to be biased. But I do want to talk about some disadvantages of being a real estate agent. Number one is you got to be honest. Is that a disadvantage? I don't think it's a disadvantage, but some people think it's a disadvantage. So again, going back to what I said, when I go and I meet with a client, a potential person who I want to buy their property from as an investor, I go with market comps. So I show them like, hey, look, this house that you want to buy from me for $30,000, if you really put like 10, 15,000 into it, I can actually sell it to you for 65, 80, right? You can get a lot more. You know what I mean? So if you want to sell it to me for 30, you put 15, 20 into it, I can actually sell it to you for 80. I can put it on the market, get it sold for 80, 85, maybe even 90 if we get lucky. It's a big spread. And that's a disadvantage because a lot of people, a lot of times, it's an eye opener. They never thought about that, you know? And then I have to be super honest because they're like, oh, I don't have the money. I'm like, well, you know, what do you own a house? They say nothing. I'm like, well, look, you can go to a bank, get a home equity line of credit. My contractors will come and get the job done. And then once it's done, we can list it, blah. People say, whoa, I'm pushing the person away from the deal. I came to buy the property, but because I'm a licensed professional, I have to be honest and do what's best, do my fiduciary duty to people that, to the public is full transparency. So I am being fully transparent. I'm helping this person do the best that they can possibly do to get the most that they could possibly get with the asset that I'm a master of, which is real estate. So there's been deals where I come into a property. I want it so bad. I'm drooling. I gotta wipe my face off. There's so much drool. I'm at the door just like, oh my God, get the drool off my face before the seller opens the door. I walk into the house. They already know. I've already agreed. They say, yeah, listen, I'll take 30,000. I just want to get out of here. I walk in the house and it's immaculate. The structure is beautiful. I ran the comps. You know what I mean? Listen, I can get you 125 for this, 135 for this. You know what I mean? And as we're talking, you know, they're in agreement with the 30, but I'm like, as a professional, I say, hey, look, I just want to, just so that we're clear, I have to be fully transparent and let you know what your other options are. You can list this house with me as a real estate agent. Now, in the current condition, it's a piece of crap, right? That's why I would only give you no more than 30. But if you were to put 20 into this, 25, you can do this, do that, and then we can list it for 110, 115, whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. And that has completely lost me deals several times. Right now, it's not all a loss, right? Because as a real estate agent, when I list something, I have the ability to collect the commission on it. So I do collect the commission on it, but that definitely kills more deals than not. But what I will say on the flip side of that is you gain an ally, right? So now that person 9 times out of 10 is going to refer you to anyone else that they know that's looking to sell. Because now they're not going to think, oh, this guy just got me for the price. They're going to think, man, this person could have bought this house for the 30, but instead they helped me do X, Y, and Z, introduced me to a lender. Lender got me a home equity line of credit. I used that cash and I got it renovated, and now we sold it for a lot more than I've helped people walk away with $60,000, a $60,000 check at settlement on a deal that I wanted to buy, and I wanted to walk away with that $60,000. So yes, that is a disadvantage. You have to be honest, because if anything, if you're not honest, that seller could always come back and say, this person is a real estate professional. They had more knowledge on me about this and they took advantage of me. And that's not what we want, because that's going to tarnish your reputation. and your reputation is everything. So I am always, always brutally honest. And that has cost me several deals, numerous deals. And it will continue to cost me numerous deals, right? But again, I still collect the commission out of every single one of them. So it's not something that's 100% wash. But I do want to put that out there that that's a disadvantage. What's another disadvantage? You're kind of like you're a public thing. You know what I mean? A lot of investors like to be, a lot of investors will have like a company, and the company kind of masks everything from them. So it might be, My Philly Investor or something like that. I don't know if that's a real name or not, but My Philly Investor might have like, two brothers and then a neighbor that are in the company, and they all have another life. They don't want to be in the limelight. So My Philly Investors would be the face that everyone does business with. With me, my name is all over the freaking goddamn internet. All you gotta do is do a Google search. You're gonna know exactly who I am, where my office is at, where my number is, where my email address is. I'm very vulnerable because I'm a public figure. I'm out there. A lot of people don't want to be a public figure. It's really tough to not be a public figure as a realtor. Realtors are public figures. It's like politicians or anytime you're in the service industry, you are a public figure, and some people don't like that limelight. As an investor, you don't have to be a public investor. Not at all. Don't have to be. So that's one disadvantage. You become a public figure. Your face is out there. Your name is out there. You know what I mean? So your reputation can take a beating. As an investor, I met with such and such with this company and they suck. I know people that had bad reputations, and in like less than a week, they go on Eclipse or whatever the business website is to create an LLC now for PA. Create a whole new LLC, new marketing, new brand, and now they're back up doing the same thing with a whole different appearance. And that's because their personal image was never touched. It was the company that was touched. Just kill the company, start again. You know what I mean? Do what Trump does. Foreclose and then come back. Then foreclose and then, or bankruptcy and then come back. Bankruptcy, you know what I mean? And that's what people do because they're never attached. That their name was never attached to it. With this one, listen, Ugo the agent, that is my name. That's my name. That is me. So if I do bad business, Ugo the agent is gonna get a bad review, and I, as the person whose name that is, I bite the bullet. Versus an investor, you can completely eclipse that. And I think that's cool. Another disadvantage of being a realtor is your broker, like the company that you work for, they have a lot of say in regards to what you can and cannot do, right? And sometimes that is very restrictive, right? I've never come across that, but I've heard that several times from different realtors. Oh yeah, no, my broker doesn't allow me to wholesale. I'm like, well, you have to get a new broker. But that's something that could definitely be a disadvantage. What else? I think that's it. So that's all I got off the top of my head. I'm sure that you guys have several other comments. Some of you have more pros to why being a realtor and an investor is advantageous. Some of you guys have more cons as to why being a real estate agent is advantageous. One of the things I forgot to mention out is access. You know what I mean? As an investor, as a realtor, I have access to anything that's listed on Trend for sale. You know what I mean? So if I'm in a neighborhood or if I'm doing a flip or doing a rental and there's a house that's for sale, and I just go in that joint. I just go right up in it. You know what I mean? Reach out to a realtor. Hey, what's going on? It's me. Can I take a look at your property? I'm doing a flip right across the street. Just want to see what you got going on. And people say, oh, well, I can call a realtor and get in there. What if it's under contract? If it's already under contract, here's a good one. I have the ability to go in and see property even if it's under contract. As a realtor, if something's under contract, I can still call the realtor and say, hey, listen, I'm just doing a flip around the corner. I just want to see what the finishes came out in this one and use it as a comp. Can I go inside and check it out? Yeah, go ahead. Here's a lockbox, or here, it's on a super lockbox. Go, do what you got to do. And I go in, I say, oh, wow, this is great. Come back out, and I'm good to go. And that's something you can't call a realtor and have them show you a pending property, right? Because you're a buyer. What are you doing looking at this property? It's already sold. It's a waste of that realtor's time. So why would a realtor show you a property that's already in a contract? Not answers, they're not. They're just not. Unless you find someone, unless you pay them. But one of the benefits is I get to go into a property, even if it's under contract, check it out, see what's going on, what did they do right, because they clearly something was done right if they got under contract. So being able to go in, see what they did right, and it's been a lot of times where I'll go into a property, I'm thinking, okay, we should do the kitchen this way. I go see what's sold, and I'm like, all right, Ian, listen, let's change it and do it this way. You know what I mean? And now my property is in a very good position to compete with that other property, right? Especially if I know if the property has an FHA mortgage on it or something like that. That means they have to have had an appraiser, right? And I'll call the realtor and say, hey, did the property appraise? They say yes. So that means, okay, great. The property appraised for what it is, and all I gotta do is make sure that I have what they have in it. And if I want to hire an appraiser, I gotta go above them in what they did. More quality, more money, more life. Let's go, right? So I think that's an advantage that you get to kind of spot on the competition because you have the ability to go into any property, you know, even if it's under contract. I can call the realtor and say, hey, what's up, buddy? Can I go check this out because of X, Y, and Z? And they'll say, yeah. I've never had a realtor say, oh, no, you can't go in there, dog. No, if you're a realtor, yeah, they'll let you. It's a frat. It's a whole different ecosystem. Yeah, just be careful. Don't mess anything up. Yes, sir. And I'll just send them a text. Hey, thanks for letting me go in. Place is great. Got some really good ideas. Appreciate you allowing me to, you know, check it out. Best of luck at selling it. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something simple like that. So yeah, but you know, that is it. You know what I mean? I really hope that this video was informative, and I'm sorry that I'm so biased. I didn't even create a page for the cons of being a real estate agent. But you know, I definitely listed a couple of them in this video if you watched till the end. So if you watched up until this point, you've heard the little rant I had about the disadvantages of being a realtor, and that's pretty much it. So again, as always, thank you, Miss Aja. Is it Aja or Aja? I feel like I'm saying it wrong twice, so forgive me. But thank you for commenting. Really appreciate everyone that comments. It makes me feel like I'm not doing, because a lot of times you think you're just doing a video and you're just throwing it out into this void where no one watches it. But when you guys watch, like, comment, and share, it means a lot. The algorithms have changed. So without the comments, you can't just like something now. You got to physically comment. So something as simple as like a good video or thanks for making this, or, you know, great advice, you know, things like that is going to help me. Is going to help YouTube say, all right, cool, we need to show this to more people because there is engagement there. That's what they're measuring. All social platforms have been reconfigured where they're measuring engagement, right? The conversation between publisher and viewer versus just a like, right? So just be very mindful of that. You know, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, baby. You know I'm good for it. And that's that. So please feel free to continue asking your questions. That's going to definitely motivate me to want to do these videos, because now I have a question. I'm going to, you know, dig down, get it answered, and go to the next one, right? So that's it. That's my video. What other advantages do you guys think I didn't hit on for being a realtor? You know, and also what other advantages or what other disadvantages did I miss out on by being a realtor? All right. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and I am signing.